Hello. Today's talk is going to be about Alzheimer's and the book called The End of Alzheimer's. It's written by Dr. Dale Bredesen. Is there really a potential end of Alzheimer's? Well, maybe not so fast. Let's look at this and see if there's an end in sight. This is Dr. Ford Brewer with Prevmed, heart attack, stroke, cancer prevention, Alzheimer's prevention, dementia prevention. We can help you get better and not have to deal with some of these things. We can't do it all for you. A lot of this is lifestyle. So let's talk about Dr. Dale Bredesen and end of dementia, end of Alzheimer's. Pardon that image. Again, like many of my images, it's a bad one. But that image was Dr. Bredesen being interviewed on the Today Show. He's hit a lot of significant media. Let me show this side. CBN, Newsroom, or News.com. He's hit several, again, significant media outlets for his book, The End of Dementia. Why is Dr. Bredesen being listened to? Why is he getting this media attention? Well, he's not a lightweight. Here, let's just go through a couple of things about his background. He graduated from Caltech, MD degree at Duke, UC San Francisco, residency in neurology, worked with Nobel laureate Stanley Prusiner at UCSF, San Francisco, position at NIH postdoc. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that very well. NIH postdoc position. Faculty positions at UCSF, UCLA, UC San Diego. So again, this guy knows a little bit, or you can assume he knows a little bit about Alzheimer's and dementia. So why is he saying that we can end Alzheimer's and dementia? Well, if you read the book, he's got a little bit of a story of how he thinks that might be a little bit of aggression there, and a little bit optimistic, but his editors on the book suggested he use that title. He does, however, say he's clearly reversed Alzheimer's in a lot of people, and using these methods that he describes in his book, you can get a huge improvement in most people and even maybe a cure. And clearly, using these methods with most people, you can pick up Alzheimer's far earlier than we're currently doing in our standard medical practices, and reverse and prevent that process, that Alzheimer's, that dementia process. Now, where's the action in terms of Alzheimer's? These are dendrites. Basically, and this is a healthy dendrite, this is an unhealthy dendrite. Basically what we're looking at, and a dendrite is a nerve cell. So if you look at it, nerves are all about connections to other nerves. In fact, our entire nervous system is just a bundle of nerves that are all connected to each other, but each connection makes a big difference. When you start looking at injured nerves, these connections appear to be a big problem. In fact, Dr. Bredesen goes ahead to make the comment that multiple times, that there are processes in the body that improve and increase connections with nerves and processes that decrease connections between the nerves, these synapses. His point that if either of these processes, increasing synapses or decreasing synapses, gets out of balance, out of whack, you can get into problems. Alzheimer's and dementia, according to Dr. Bredesen, is a decrease in these synapses, these connections. What's a synapse? Well, you go back and you remember that dendrite, that nerve cell. Each nerve cell has a lot of connections to other nerve cells. And again, that's how we connect the dots. We are literally connecting dots here. There's a lot of research, as you can see, therefore, going on the different, what we call neurotransmitters, the molecules that transmit an impulse from this nerve across the synapse to this nerve. Or maybe I've got it backwards. Maybe it's going the other direction. From this nerve across the synapse by releasing acetylcholine, and that acetylcholine being picked up by the what we would call the afferent. There are terms called afferent and efferent. I believe maybe efferent sending, afferent receiving. Again, maybe not the topic for this discussion. Here's the topics for this discussion. There are two actually. One is the concept of 36 holes in the roof, and the other is the concept of functional medicine. Dr. Bredesen goes on to say, look guys, you know what, my wife's a functional medicine doc. She's been pushing me on this for a long time. I pushed back, but now I'm beginning to see that this is functional medicine. In other words, there's a lot of things ranging from this medication to that medication to supplements that impact dementia. Now, not every one of these treatments, and exercise and lifestyle and the right diet, all of these things impact Alzheimer's. So a doctor that knows and understands all these things impact it, but also a doctor that knows and understands the research is not completely in on everything. And if we wait for all the research, we're going to let a lot of people suffer unnecessarily. And that seems to be his definition of functional medicine. A doc will go in there and take the hit of saying, you know, this may not be totally researched, but I'll recommend it. Now, I've covered that in another video, the whole argument and professional debate and defensiveness between, especially like my group, the preventive medicine crowd. I've been involved in a lot of that, the training and focus and science around preventive medicine, and the quote competing group, functional medicine. Again, in my mind, the competition needs to be shoved aside, and we need to focus on our job, and that is the patient. But here's the final concept that this brings up, and it's 36 holes in the roof. His point is this: Alzheimer's is caused by at least 36 different causes, reasons, problems. It's like you've got a hole in the roof, but it's not just one, it's 36 holes. One patch is not going to fix it. He goes on to say, and that was at the time that he wrote the book, it was 3 dozen. Since then it went up to 4 dozen, and he says, you know what, it could be 8 dozen, but it's not going to be over 100 causes. Here's what that creates, and here's part of what pulls us into this whole discussion about functional medicine and trying different things, all of which are not totally researched yet. There's another major focus, and that is when you look at the tons, the trillions of dollars that are being pushed into Alzheimer's research. That's great. We do need a cure for Alzheimer's. But if there are several dozen causes of Alzheimer's, it's not a wise thing to wait for the magic one bullet that's going to fix them all. We need to look at every one of the causes. Every one of those holes in the roof needs a patch. So docs and patients, this is a lot of hard work coming up if we're going to prevent Alzheimer's, because there's at least 36 holes in the roof right now.